Hey, pretties, I am super excited today because I have a petite style expert with me. She is Shannon April, and she's going to be sharing all kinds of tips with us. Shannon and I met, oh gosh, probably, I'm thinking we met online a few years back. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I was Googling capsule wardrobes, and you were the first person that popped up, and I bought your ebook, and it just really changed my life. You were the first person I ever saw doing capsule wardrobes, and I was hooked. So,
Awesome.
absolutely, yeah, it's an honor to be on with you and to chat and have some fun today.
Yes, I'm so excited because I'm not quite petite. I'm like on the verge, but I get so many questions from Outfit Formulas members, asking what are the best, petite style tips and where should I be shopping and what should I be looking for? And I don't feel qualified to share that with them. So I actually want to ask you first things first, what defines petite style? Is it a certain height? What are the requirements to fall into petite?
Yes, absolutely. So in the garment industry, petite is technically clothes that are for women who are 5'4" and under. And it only has to do with height only. So just being shorter. And I myself am about 5'3". And here's another misnomer is not everyone who is petite needs to wear petite on top and bottom. So I've had clients who were very short waisted. So they wore petites on top, but then their inseam was a regular size, like, 29, 28. And so it really depends on your vertical proportions, so where you're long and where you're short. So, some petites will need to wear petite on top and bottom, some just bottom, some just on top. So it all depends.
So do you recommend that women take their measurements and kind of try to figure that out, or is it more, trying on different styles? Um, and the second part of this question is, does petite sizing tend to stay consistent across retailers, or is that something that's kind of all over the place?
Yeah, just like with what we call straight sizes, regular sizes, they do kind of vary a lot, right? Because some people have vanity sizing where you might measure your waist and then the number is smaller, which always makes me feel good. But I always end up ripping out tags anyways, because a number is just a number, right? And if you're fitted in the right clothes that fit you, you're gonna look and feel amazing. And look, for us, we want to look taller and slimmer because if I put on 5 pounds, I literally can't fit most of my clothes. There's nowhere for it to go. And so I know a lot of us who are shorter, the pain point is we put on the weight, it shows really quickly. And then the biggest thing that I see is clothes are almost always too long. So tops are long, and a lot of my clients and followers cannot figure out why they look so frumpy. And it's literally just that the tops are too long and maybe the waist is sitting lower than it should. And so I want to say the biggest thing that petites can lean into is tailoring.
Mm.
And I know that a lot of us think, oh, but I don't want to add, $20 to that top. Well, think about this. If you bought a top for 40 and then you had it a small tailoring job for 20, you might wear that top 2 times a week, 3 times a week if it's different groups of people, and your cost per wear is actually going down, down, down every time you wear it. Instead of it's sitting in your closet, you reach for it, but then you're like, it's not totally right, and you put it back. So instead of wasting the $40, you actually, bring the cost down. And so
I
I
love
always recommend, yes, know what for you would be worth tailoring. And, some things aren't worth it, but a lot of, minor tailoring edits that I wanted to share with you for your people, could be really helpful because I know there's probably a lot of, outfit formulas that you have that your people love, and maybe they tried it and they're like, oh, it just isn't right. It really could be a simple $15 alteration and it works beautifully.
That's,
And
I love
so,
this. I love this so much. We're gonna dive into this a little bit more, but it's really about, we talk about the heck yes items with outfit formulas. Like if it's not a heck yes, it's a no. Well, sometimes if something does not fit you properly, that makes it a no, but you need to
yeah,
view it through the lens of, could I make this work for me? Do I love the fabric? Do I love the cut? Is it just a little too long? That's something that can be easily fixed. And when you do turn it into a heck yes, then you are going to want to wear it all the time. And it totally makes sense to do that. So thank you for sharing that. I think, the biggest aha moment that I had, as I was preparing for us to talk today was, oh my gosh, like this opens up a whole new world of possibilities for women who tell me I can't wear maxi skirts or kimonos swallow me up, or, there's certain items that petite women feel like they can't wear because they do feel swallowed up. And like you said, it can come across as looking frumpier if we don't have pieces that fit and flatter our bodies. So let's dive into that a little bit deeper. I know that you have a petite tip sheet for tailoring. And let's talk about tops. What do you recommend, women look for when they are getting their tops tailored?
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing you kind of need to know is like, are you long or short waisted? And so if you are shorter waisted, I'm just gonna grab a tank. A really simple edit that you can do that's not super expensive is if you have a top that just has simple, simple sleeves, like not sleeves, but straps like this. If you have your tailor take them up just a little bit, it's
Mm.
going to raise the waistline. Now, it might raise the neckline a little bit, so you have to be cautious of that. But oftentimes I will buy, if I can't find something in petite size because it's a little bit harder, I might look in a regular size, straight size, and see if it can fit me with the straps taken up just a tiny bit. And sometimes that does it. And it's not super expensive. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but that's a quick fix. So if it's, a great quality top, it's versatile, you can wear it, with different things, it's a staple. This is, an edit that's definitely worth the investment. I have not styled one petite person who was not wearing hems the correct length.
Mm.
So this is very important as you're short. And typically what you want to do is if your hem length is too long, it's going to drag you down and make you look shorter and squatty. If your
Mm.
hem length, for general example, if you have curvy hips and the hem length comes up above the widest part of your hips. You never want it like down by your crotch. That's just a big no, that's going to
Mm.
push you into front spill. You want your hem to come up right about where your hip starts to get slim. That's going to make your legs look longer. And it's just amazing how even when I'm virtually styling clients and I say, okay, let's raise your hem up by 2 inches, and they scrunch up that hem and they're like, whoa, my thighs look slimmer. I look a little taller. And all they did was took 2 inches off the hem of their top. And that's not a difficult edit to do.
Oh.
And they wear that top so much. And so
Yeah,
there's
it's all
probably a
about
lot of what,
it's
sorry?
all about creating those illusions,
Yes.
and your clothes hitting you in the right place. And one thing that you said about, raising the straps up is a lot of times, even for not technically petite people, shirts are too low cut for us. And if I'm wearing a tank or a cami and it's coming down too low, then I love that tip. I would go and get some of mine altered just to have it come up a little bit higher on my chest. So that's a great tip. Thank you.
Yeah. And I always recommend, hey, look for the straps that have the auto adjustment because, then you
Yeah.
don't have to take it to the tailor. So, have that on your radar for anybody, because some people might have a shorter distance between, their chin and their bust point, in which case they might want either a higher or longer straps for camis, depending on what they're comfortable with and where their bust hits. So I happen to have a very low bosom, so I have more room to play. But
Mhm.
often if I'm, buying a straight size, I do have to pinch up the top, if it's not petite for sure. So easy
Awesome.
tip, right? Just get the
Yeah.
adjustable straps. There you go.
It is. That's so smart. Yes, I love it. I'm sure you could probably even get adjustable straps done by a tailor too. If you didn't have it, you could probably, that's something I'm sure they can do. They can work magic.
Yeah, they really can. I mean, honestly, if you're short, the tailor is going to, if you find a tailor you trust, she's going to be your new best friend. Okay, so back on the tank, since I have this, another very cheap edit to do is, so if you have straight seams on the side, having your tailor take it in a little bit is going to be amazing because you, as Allison has probably told you all, you want your clothes to skim. You don't want them to be too loose or too tight. So if there's a top that's just a little bit too loose and you're starting to feel like it's, slightly frumpy, not right, just have the tailor bring in the seam just a little bit. And they can even, if you're curvy, they can even, cut it out so that it's curved. That's going to make you look even more amazing because it's fitted to you. You're going to take like a 20, 30, $40 shirt and make it look like a $200 shirt just because it fits you so well. And
Yeah.
that was worth the 20 bucks or, whatever your tailor charges, right?
Absolutely. It's almost like getting your own custom clothing made whenever you're getting it tailored to fit your body. I love this so much. All right, so I have to ask you this question because I get asked all the time. Do you have a favorite jeans brand that you recommend for petites?
Ooh, okay. So I'm like kind of a Nordstrom's girl just because my philosophy is if you can't make it, if it doesn't fit off the rack, make it fit. Like if it's something that you just really love. But I will say with petites, it is harder because they have to make sure the knees are in the right spot,
Mm,
right? You can't buy a pair of regular pants with maybe some wearing that's on the knees and it be, too low. So that said, I usually recommend like if you have your torso's not super long and you don't need a super long rise, shopping in the petites is really good. I know Loft has some great options. I personally like Nordstrom's. I have a pair of cut jeans, the toothpick skinny from like 5 years ago that I'm still wearing. I don't care if people think they're not in style, they look amazing on me.
they're a
Um,
classic. They're yeah.
I know, right? Yes, and then of course, I do enjoy some premium denim here and there, but mostly I will shop, Nordstrom's, Loft. Banana also has, great petite options. I really like some of Anthropologie's, their in-house brand, the Pilcrow is nice. So that's kind of where I lean. Black House White Market has some great stuff.
I love Nordstrom too. I'm glad you mentioned them because when women ask me this question, which I get asked all the time, I can't recommend a particular jeans brand because I feel like it's so, I mean, every body shape and style has a different pair of jeans that fits them well. So I do recommend going to a bigger department store because you can try on a wide variety of brands and figure out what works best for you. And then I always tell women when you do figure it out, the added benefit of Nordstrom is that if you're a member of the Nordy Club, then you get free alterations. So that's another great thing about it. But I love that, you can take all the pairs of jeans into the fitting room, find the one that works best for you, and then buy it in multiple washes. That's the key.
Yes.
Like, make sure you get multiple washes. And I'm glad you mentioned skinny jeans because they are not out of style. They are a classic. They're going to stick around, and I'm still seeing them everywhere. So I think that they're going to stick around regardless. All right. So one of the questions I get asked frequently this time of the year, we're heading into summer, is what length of shorts should I wear? And again, I feel like this is kind of subjective, but do you have some, tips that you share with petites on shorts lengths?
Yes. Okay. So I want to rewind a little bit because, like you said, this is super subjective and it's very personal.
Yes.
And, my ladies, I like to encourage them to be, classy and put together. And so don't hate me for saying this, but honestly, if you want to look pulled together, we just have to make sure that we are covered where we need to be covered. So, first you have to check, well, how comfortable am I showing my legs? And then I just say, as we get older, we do tend to cover more. So if you do need to cover the lumps and bumps and dimples, that there's no shame to that, right? We want to be classy, we want to be presentable, we don't want to be
And you want to be
distracting.
comfortable in things too. If you're
Right.
uncomfortable with particular things showing, then focus on something that you love, and then you can cover what you don't, right?
Right, right. And usually it's kind of like if, we like our shoulders, we don't usually like our lower half. And if we love our legs, we usually want to cover something up here. So, everyone's got their thing. So, okay, so that aside, I like to look at proportions. And so this is a little trick that I do for measuring proportions to figure out, length with legs. So I take my clients and I figure out what is the length of their head. And then I try to find out, are they proportional in their legs or, are they short? And so what you do is you take the length of your head and from your crotch to your mid knee, if you have two head lengths, then the top of your leg is proportional. And
Mhm.
if you have two head lengths between the middle of your knee down to the top of your foot visually, then your bottom half is proportional. So if your length between your crotch and your knee is proportional to head lengths or longer, you can pretty much play in that area because you have a longer vertical space. Now,
Okay.
generally, petites, we need to wear shorter shorts because longer shorts make us look shorter.
Mhm.
So I say go as short as you are comfortable with. I think I wear about a 5-inch
Mhm.
inseam.
Yeah,
Some people have great legs, will maybe do a 3. Like I said, right? It all kind of depends on what you're comfortable with.
for sure.
Um, if you're gonna do like the Bermuda length, you have to make sure that they fit well. They're not baggy and loose because as soon as we start dressing casually, we have to make sure the clothes aren't worn out and they look a little bit nicer. So I
Mm.
say if you're going to wear the Bermudas, make sure you have on a nice top that they fit you perfectly, or else you are going to kind of look a little bit slouchy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers your question. I would say go
It
as short
does.
as you're comfortable with. I mean,
I love it. It's great advice, and it's a really good just kind of litmus test. Take everything in from the 3 inch all the way to like the 9 inch and see, what works best for you. Take the selfie in the mirror, and I also like to try out different types of shoes with my shorts too, because you might be able to get away with a 7 inch if you want to put a heel, like a wedge on that kind of, creates that illusion of your legs looking longer. So
right.
I'm going to be measuring my head today, and I bet a lot of women will be who are listening to this, so we can figure this out. It's such good advice. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about tailoring when it comes to our lower half. What
Mhm.
tips do you have for tailoring our bottoms?
Yes, absolutely. So, whenever you shop, you always want to make sure that the widest part of your body is comfortable. So, if it's your backside and your hips, like me, for example, I get that gaping in the waist problem. So, what I do, yep, right?
Okay.
So, what I do, and I'm gonna show you one of my favorite pairs of jeans here. What I do is I will find a really great pair of jeans that are super comfortable in the hips, because a lot of times we want to just wear something that we look good in, but we're kind of tight and we say, we'll just deal with it. Well, if it's slightly uncomfortable in that wider part, you're not going to wear it. So what I do is I will take it to the tailor, and she will put, I don't know if you can see this, but she put two seams in the back
Hmm.
here. She
Yeah.
took off the waistband, then she put it back on. These now fit like a dream.
Oh,
And I
wow.
can wear these like, in fall, winter, 4 times a week. No,
I
I don't
love
care.
it.
They're dark, they're classic. I don't need to wear a belt. When I bend over, there's no like air blowing through. I'm not afraid anything's going to show. It's amazing. And this was only about $20. So imagine, right?
Yeah, that was everybody. Shannon just shared a life-changing $20 tip. I will be doing that. I promise you. I have the same problem. I'm a pear shape, so what fits me in the hips doesn't fit me in the waist. So, yes, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Any other tips we need to know about what we're wearing on our lower halves? And second question in there, can petite women wear maxi dresses and skirts? I get asked this question a lot. So, what is your official proclamation on that?
Yes. Okay. So I absolutely love anything longer on the bottom is going to make your legs look longer. So I say instead of doing the crop, go as long as you can, because that's going to make your leg line look longer. And then if you can
Mhm.
wear belts, that also creates a focal point. And then also too, you want to make sure that the skirt isn't so full and billowy. Like what you want to do is you really want that sleek, slender, vertical kind of like column look that you're going for. Because what that's going to do is when you have a long vertical column that you are creating, a silhouette, the eye is going to go up, down, back up, and it's going to trick people into thinking that you are taller and leaner than you are, right? So we
Mhm.
always want to think about, well, where's the eye going?
Mhm.
Which leads me to hem lengths. So I'm just going to say crops are harder to wear. One thing you want to be aware of whenever there's a horizontal line, that's going to draw the eye. So if you are wearing a crop pair of pants, you want them to hit at a slender part of your leg and calf, not a wide part, because that's what people are going to see. So you
Mhm.
want it to hit at a slender, part of your ankle, and you're really going to want to wear like a platform or some kind of heel to make up the height because you are shorter. And then a strategy to do is kind of do more of a monochromatic dressing so that it kind of looks like one piece. And again, you're creating that long column look. So instead of wearing, white crop capris with a black shirt, try doing a lighter color top like a gray or a silver or a tan, because
Okay.
that's going to have less contrast and not make you look, cut off at the waist and then shorter.
Mm.
So
Okay.
watch those horizontal lines, they cut off. So
Oh, so
that's,
smart.
yeah, very important for us shorties to watch the vertical line or
Yes.
horizontal lines.
Yes, and we can use color definitely to create those illusions. I love that so much. So I know you and I talk a lot about style and confidence, and really, it's about feeling good in your clothes, because
Mm,
the way you feel really just has an effect on how you show up in the world and being the best version of yourself. And I work with a lot of women over 40, and I'm as I'm sure you do as well. And one of the things that I'm hearing a lot lately is what do I do about the menopausal middle? And I'm
Mm,
sure in petite women, this is, sometimes an even bigger issue. Like you said, when you don't have as much going vertically, it's harder to hide things like that. So, do you have any tips specific to our midsections?
yes. If you're not like burning hot, adding a light second layer is a good way to slim down in a darker color. So even if it's like a vest, that's going to kind of break up the width that you maybe feel. And it kind of, you kind of feel like you're being a little bit covered. So if you can wear just, a light second layer over, like a tank, maybe that's, a little bit more flowy, that's going to help you feel better. I think the biggest thing is making sure at this point, if you're feeling wider, that you have pieces that fit, that are skimming and make you feel good, right? And a
Mhm.
lot of that's going to have to do with the tailoring and then upping the thread count, making sure the fabrics are comfortable, breathable, cotton, things that are easy care. And so at that point in life, it is time to start investing a little bit, right? And you don't need a ton, you just need some interchangeable staples, right? To kind of get you through that
Right.
season. And
Exactly.
then, kind of you alluded to this earlier, is just playing up your assets. Well, what do you love? Maybe you have amazing hair. So then, show off your hair, wear some, fun statement earrings, wear some layered necklaces, get that bag you've been drooling over for years.
You deserve
Yeah,
it.
exactly, exactly. There's other ways to celebrate yourself, with, little fun baubles and, find your signature style. I'm sure you talk about that a lot, but have a statement piece that you love that really projects your personality. I think in the menopausal years, you know who you are, and now it's time to show up. And you can express that through, I think, accessories and,
Absolutely. I totally agree. I feel like it's a time where a lot of women are really focusing on like my body is changing, but it's also a time of rediscovery where you can play more of a style and you know yourself better and just have fun with it and know that you can draw the eye wherever you want to. Like you said, with a hairstyle or with some statement earrings or whatever the case may be. But there are so many things that we do have control over as we go through this stage of life. And I think that that's where we really can put the focus and have so much fun with it. So thanks, Shannon. This has been amazing. So I know that you have this tailoring tip sheet, and I want to be able to share this with everybody. So tell us where we can find you, where we can get that, where you're at on socials, all the good things.
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest thing is just to go to my website, aprilstyling.com, and just right at the top, Petite Brands Guide. I can add on the tailoring tip sheet to that, and I'll send it over to Allison as well. But that's probably just the easiest place to find me. I'm also on Facebook. I have a special group for petites called Petite Style Society. So
Great.
just put in Petite Style Society, and I help women share tips like this. And what I love about it is, a lot of my followers like follow you, follow influencers, but they struggle with, I love what they're showing, but it doesn't work for me. And so these tips, like we talked about, could help you be able to reproduce what your favorite influencer is wearing because you know your body, and you could figure out just those 20, dollar little edits that could make that outfit that they're wearing that you love work for you. And so,
Correct.
yeah, that's what it's all about.
So good. Thanks, Shannon. I love Facebook groups because I feel like it's a place where you can get in there and swap tips with people that have similar body styles and have, that place where you can support each other. So I so appreciate what you're doing because I feel like the more that we know about our style and our body types, our body shapes, the better we can learn to dress and the better we're going to feel in our clothes. So thank you for what you do. I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does too. So the name of your Facebook group again was Petite Style Society. Is that right?
Mhm.
All right, so everybody
Style
go
Society.
look that up and join. And thank you so much, Shannon. I appreciate all the tips. This has been so much fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime. All right. Thank you,
Thank
Allison.
you.